So, another day back at uni. Supposed to be in a lecture today. Currently sitting in the car park. I've been here since about 10 to 8. I'm really anxious. I cannot get out this car. So yeah, it doesn't look as though I'm going to make it in because now time's ticking and it's the back of 8, which means the lecture theatre is going to be filled up. And I do not like walking in when it's filled up like that. This is why I prefer being early, because it just makes my anxiety worse. So I know for a fact I'm not going to make it in because just for that alone, I don't have enough time. I've ran out of time to get myself relaxed, enough to go in. I'm really disappointed in myself. Really disappointed. I feel really, really sick, really lightheaded. My heart is literally pounding on my chest. This is ridiculous, honestly. I see so many people, oh, I've got anxiety issues, I'm a bit stressed. But maybe say 7 times out of 10, 7, 8 times out of 10, that's just everyday stress. That's just everyday anxiousness. This is totally different. It really is. It's a totally different ballgame. And I'm generalised anxiety disorder, so mine is even more complicated. It's not just social anxiety. I've got a bit of PTSD there. When it comes to education, I've got generalised anxiety disorder, which means anything can set me off, which makes it difficult because I can't then find a trigger to avoid the trigger. So that makes it difficult. I'm going to see if we can get a GP phone appointment and try and see what they'll do. She did say if putting my tablets up didn't work, she would refer me to the psychiatrist, so I think that might be the best idea right now. Because it's no good being like this. When I'm sleeping, I'm like not getting a proper sleep either, although when I do, it's not often I get sleep, but when I do get a sleep, it is like I wake up and it feels as though I've been awake the whole night. I'm not getting that sort of rested sleep, so I just feel tired all the time. And people looking from the outside, if you were to look at me the past couple of weeks, you'd be thinking lazy, but it's not laziness. Literally, I just don't have the energy. I don't have the motivation. But I think the lack of motivation's there because I don't have the energy and because I am so tired. Sometimes I think being mentally ill is more draining than being physically ill because it takes so much out of you and you try so hard to mask that. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, So yeah, it's just, I don't know where else to go with it, I don't know how else to kind of deal with it. but this is the cards I've got to play with. I just need to try and find a way to use them. It's annoying because I want to get through this. I want to get back into work. I hate not working. You know, I hate this struggling to pay bills. I hate this when there's something that you want, you can't get it because you're struggling to pay your bills as it is. You know, I want to get back to it. I've always worked. I've worked since I was 18. You know, I stopped work just a couple of months before I started college. No, I was still in work when I was doing my college, sorry, my access to nursing. So it's been 1, 2, 3, so it's been 4 years since I was last in work because I've been in education since. And I've always worked, and it caused my anxiety right now. I can't work and do uni because I'm under a lot of anxiousness doing uni, and then if you add the work onto that, you know, people get work stress, and I know I just said previously you get a lot of people saying, you know, oh, I'm anxious, I'm stressed at work, blah blah blah. Yeah, it does happen, but the difference is when I get stressed at work, that's anxiety on top of anxiety. You know, it's like when I'm doing my presentations, the lecturers, when you go to the lecturers about your anxiety, it's always, oh well, I get anxious as well when I'm doing a presentation. Everyone gets anxious when you're doing a presentation. Yeah, I kind of know that, but with me, it's anxiety on top of anxiety. That's what people don't get. Anything that makes you anxious in a normal life is tenfold for me because I've already got anxiety. So you put anxiety on top of anxiety, and it's not good, you know. It really isn't. But on the plus side, my exam results should be in today. This afternoon, actually, they said they should be in. I had my exam last week, which is why there was no uploads, because I've been studying for that. So this exam's in 2 parts. They've split it up this year into 2 parts. So you had a multiple choice question as the first part, which is what we've done last week. So that was an open book exam. It's a score out of 50. I think I've done enough to pass that part of the exam. The second part of the exam, scenarios, so that's closed book. And that is 2 weeks' time. So I have to do that. So the multiple choice questions is like 20% of your mark. So if I get 40% pass on that, that's me at 20% already for this exam. And it means out of the scenarios, I just need to make up that 20%. But they did say try and aim for above the pass mark in the multiple choice. So I don't know if that's because they might, if you fall short on your scenarios, they might just say, right, well, you've got more than 20% pass on your multiple choice, we'll just use that. But obviously they can't say that because then people will go in thinking, no, well, I don't need to bother whether I pass or fail the scenarios, when really they want you to pass it. So under no certain terms, they have said aim for higher, which kind of makes me think if you fall short, they will pass you. So fingers crossed I get a pass on that. That should be in this afternoon. I'll give a wee update tomorrow on it because I'm meant to be in a class tomorrow again as well. This is my groups class, so hopefully I can at least make that. It doesn't help I left the house a bit later this morning, so I'm a bit later in arriving here, and that's just totally threw me off. It's totally screwed me over. So yeah, exam results today. Fingers crossed for that. So technically, if you work it out, 3 exams. So there's 2 exams for acute illness and deterioration. It's the multiple choice in the scenario. So I've already done the multiple choice. So I just need to be for the second part, which is the scenarios. Then I have my OSCE exam, which is my clinical skills exam. So I need to do an ATE assessment. I'm going to look like a complete fool because I'm going to record myself without looking at my sheets. I might upload it, I might not. But I will look like a complete moron talking to absolutely nothing. But that can't be helped. As long as I can, just kind of say airways, is the patient conscious? Well, first impressions, is the patient conscious? The examiner will tell me yes or no. So when you get to the airways, the recordings will basically just be like airways. The look is the first part, I'm sure. So is there any cyanosis, which is pale colouring of the skin? Is there any signs, of holding the throat or anything like that for choking? And I can't remember the third one for that. I had a few written down for that, so I'm going to need to try and look at that. And then obviously for airways, you've got listening as well, so any stridor, any gurgling, coughing. And then you've got feel. I can't remember what I put in for feel for airways. And then you've got your intervention. So basically the recording will just kind of be like that, and then it lets me see what I need to focus on. Lets me go back and see. I think it'd be a good wee video to upload, but a bit nervous about doing that. But it's good for me to do that, so it kind of lets me look back as well. And for writing my book, these videos are going to come in handy. Though I don't like listening to my own voice on a playback of a video. I don't like how I sound. I suppose a lot of people don't like how they sound on video. This is why I'm always the one behind the camera, not in front of it. But yeah, so fingers crossed we get good results today. Get the second part of the exam 2-3 weeks time, and then I've got my OSCE date, which is the 5th of July. It's a Monday. I think it might be the 5th or the 8th, I can't remember. But that's in about 4 or 5 weeks time anyway, so I've got about 4 or 5 weeks to kind of focus on my OSCE as well. So yeah, fingers crossed for that. And tomorrow you will all hopefully see whether I've passed that part or not. But I am nearly there. I've got this second part of the acute illness and deterioration exam to do. I've got my OSCE to do. I've got my results to get today. Then I'm done. Second year is out my way, and all going well and I pass what's left of the exams, I will be going into third year in September. Oh my god, my last year. As much as I'm disappointed in myself for not making it in today, I am extremely proud of myself that I have made it this far. Especially with the amount of people that kept on saying to me, you've got anxiety. You can't be a nurse if you've got anxiety. Well, I'm sitting here proving it wrong. Yeah, I've got my hard days, like today. Really hard days. But I'm doing it. I've done it. and I'm going to finish it. I will graduate. I will make sure I will graduate. And that's probably going to be one of the best videos that I do on this, is my graduation. When I go up there and receive my qualification, I'll get my partner to record it. And I will upload my graduation. Provided I pass everything in third year. But yeah, I cannot wait. I want to get it done. I want to get it over with. I'm nearly there. Nearly there. This time next year, I'll be finishing off my very last placement and then qualifying. So, fingers crossed the rest of the year goes in quick. Fingers crossed I pass today's results. And fingers crossed that I do pass my last 2 exams after this. And yeah, I'm still here. I'm still going. I've got a hard day today. I've not made it in. I'm literally still sitting in the uni car park. I've made it part way in, I've just not made it into the class. But I'm still here. I'm still fighting. I'm still going to get through this year. And I am still going to get through third year. And I will graduate. So, I'm going to leave this here. And I'm going to go get tea. I'm going to leave this car park and go get tea. Sit for a bit, drink my tea. So yeah, I will post some more tomorrow.